All right. Here we go. So we have this next article. We have Carlsen. We have Carlsen on the Niemann drama, not going to say everything. Okay. So let's read this. After beating Indian Arjun Erigaisi in the final of a new Champions Chess Tour tournament, Magnus Carlsen answered questions about the drama surrounding him and American teenager Hans Niemann. Carlsen led 2.5 from day one of the final and needed 2 points of the 4-game digital rapid chess final on Sunday. He won the first 2 games and secured his 4th triumph on the tour so far this year. After the victory was a fact, the Norwegian was asked about what has sent shockwaves through the chess world recently. When asked in TV2's chess broadcast whether he thinks it is right that Niemann gets to participate in the next tournament on the tour, he replied, "I'm not going to change my point of view on whether I want to play against him or not, but I'm not the one who invites players to tournaments. Those decisions are made by others." Right. So this is the first very, very important point to make here. So when we see this point about what's being said, I'm not going to change my point of view on whether I want to play against him or not, but I'm not the one who invites players in tournaments. These decisions are made by others. I think the chess world is going to have a very oh, sorry, I have Google Translate hovering over it. Sorry about that. You know, I think this is going to be a very tough situation to deal with. As I see it, there are, unless there is more evidence against Hans at the moment, there is no specific evidence. So I feel like right now organizers are gonna have to make a decision between like inviting Magnus, potentially other top players. Like I said, I know there are other top players. In particular, I think Fabian said he's known about the rumors, and I think that Nepo definitely commented on it in his video that he did. I have not read any of this before the stream, you guys, so that I have a genuine reaction. So I am aware of the content I'm covering. Like I have like little headlines of what I'm covering, but because my mods gather all that stuff together for me, but I do not read the articles or watch videos before the stream, specifically because otherwise it's not going to look genuine. And I know I'd like to pretend that I can be a good actor, but you know, Billions was only a 1-minute clip, so you know that wasn't hard to do. But I'm pretty bad when I try to fake a reaction. So yeah, I do not read the articles or watch the videos ahead of time. Okay, so as of right now, as it stands, I think basically organizers are in a situation where, sorry for hovering over the word again, where either you invite 30-second clip, don't exaggerate moves. I had to do filming for, I think it was 7 hours for Billions. They filmed like all different angles. I mean, I basically, there were so many times when they filmed Mike Birbiglia and then Asia Kate Dillon, and then I would come and they film me, then back out, and then new setup, etc. So it was not like 30 seconds. It was actually like a whole day. It was like 7 hours, and at the end of the day, I still get checks almost every month, royalties for like 25 to 50 bucks. So what can I say? It's good to be an actor. If only I could do acting all the time. Anyway, okay, so right now it sounds like we're in a situation where either organizers either have to invite Magnus or invite Hans. Back to the article. In the group stage earlier in the week, Carlsen met the American Hans Niemann. There, the Norwegian lost on purpose after 2 moves. TV2's chess expert Jan Ludvig Hammer expects that Niemann will compete in the next tournament as well, and that Carlsen will withdraw from the meeting with the American again. 2.5 weeks ago, Carlsen withdrew from the Sinquefield Cup after losing Niemann. At the back of that tournament, it had been speculated that Carlsen believes that the American cheated in his victory over him. Earlier in the week, the Norwegian confirmed that he will make a statement early next week, and he repeated the same on Sunday. All right. I can say as much as I will say something, but not everything, says Carlsen in an interview with TV2, and says that he will probably choose one of his social media channels to convey the message. TV2 asked him if it is for legal reasons, whereupon Carlsen smilingly remarked that it was a very good question. Okay, oh, I guess I can't watch a video, but anyway, he said that it was a very good question. So to me, that seems pretty clear that Magnus is saying that it does have to do with legal ramifications. Does it work? No, it doesn't work. So now I have to translate the page again. Yeah, I have to translate. Sorry. Okay. Okay. So let's keep going. Let's keep going. Carlsen wants more focus on fair play in chess. It has always been a code of honor in the game at the top level that you trust each other. You know it is possible to cheat and probably not get caught, but it is totally devastating to be caught. So then you trust that the incentives are not big enough for the best to cheat. It may feel like the time is ripe to change that point of view, he says. Okay. The Norwegians' actions in the two tournaments caused the International Chess Federation FIDE to criticize Carlsen in a press release published on Friday afternoon. We believe that the world champion has a moral responsibility linked to his status since he is seen as a global ambassador for the game. His actions affect his colleagues' reputation, results, and can be devastating to the sport. We believe that there were better ways to handle the situation, FIDE wrote in a press release. All right. So again, it sounds like Magnus is probably going to say something. We're not sure what he's going to say. It sounds like he wants to say something, but not say everything because of legal reasons. So we just wait and see. FIDE, big L, big cringe. L fell off plus ratio plus everything else along the way, right? Yeah, so this was the first article. So it sounds like Magnus intends to say something. Let's keep going. Next up, we have another article also from Aftenposten in Norway. New analysis sheds new light on the chess drama. The nail in the coffin. The chess world has been shaken by the drama between Magnus Carlsen and Hans Niemann. Now it is claimed in a new analysis that Niemann has cheated in a number of parties. Of course, it's a translation, so they're essentially saying in a number of games. Okay, so here's a picture. Let's go through the article. The analysis was published by chess teacher and FIDE champion. I think they mean FIDE master. Again, it is a Norwegian translation, but the analysis was published by chess teacher and FIDE master Yosha Iglesias on her YouTube profile on Sunday afternoon. It will differ from the American mathematician and chess player. He's also an international master, Kenneth Regan. Regan dealt with game by game and not tournaments as a whole. Regan did not conclude that Niemann cheated. Okay. The new analysis stands out in that it believes there are several examples of foul play taking place. The new analysis sees several examples of they mean games, of course, the translation. Several examples of games that are highly suspicious, where compliance with the computer is high. It also shows some examples of moves and sequences of moves that are very suspicious, says chess journalist Tarjei Svensson to VG. Several examples have been found of the type of games where there is so-called 100% agreement with the computer, according to the computer program the person is using, says Svensson. But even with the new information on the table, Svensson does not want to label American Niemann as a cheat. One must be careful in drawing conclusions. She doesn't draw any conclusions herself either, says Svensson, and continues, it is in a way new information, but there are many who have analyzed the parties or analyzed the games and individual games and said that the games between Carlsen and Niemann is not so suspicious. Well, there are others who have gone through it more systematically and have found figures that indicate that here there is something inhumane about many of the games that are played, says Svensson. Chess expert Attili Gran is more certain that cheating has taken place. Okay, so where I got this from was there were some tweets from Tarjei on Twitter earlier. I think at Legrand I saw a tweet of his as well. So let's move on. So now back to the meat of what is being referred to here. Apparently let me change this just 1 second so you guys can see the top of the screen. And there we go. So yeah, so here is the tweet in question. This is from, or wait, no, sorry, this is not the initial tweet. Let me find the tweets and replies. So the initial tweet was, I believe, here. Actually, maybe I'm just going to cover all of this. There was the initial tweet was the initial tweet was 1 second. Let me scroll down and find it. It was okay. It was. I can't find the exact tweet. But anyway, let's go to this tweet. So we have this tweet which says 10K following. I assume the numbers are only going to climb, you guys, as we keep going throughout the day. Like I said, you know, we'll see. A former plus 2800 player has just told me that a former plus 2800 player just told me that he has played exactly one game at 100%, one at 97%, and a few at 85% games, and that's it. In 3 years, Hans Niemann has played 10 100% games, 23 other 90% plus games. Okay, a former 2800 player. So now this is where I can go to 2700 chess, and I'm gonna deduce who I think the player is, by the way. Now there's a reason I'm gonna do this. Okay, I could be completely wrong on this, of course. Let me scroll down. Okay, here we go. Let me make this just a touch smaller on this side because I have to change it with every scene. Okay, so he said former 2800 plus player. So was right here I'm on 2700 chess. No, it was not me, just to be clear. It's obviously not me, although I guess in some kind of weird way, if I want to be really sneaky, that would be a funny way to do it. So who is over 2800? So it's obviously not Magnus, it's not Ding Liren. Those two players are over 2800. So let's take a look. Who could it be? It's not Magnus. Gary's retired, but Gary would never talk to just, you know, lowly FIDE master, and like we all know that Gary would not do that. Gary would not talk to a FIDE master. So it's obviously not Gary. I did that intentionally because, you know, that's on purpose. It's not Fabiano, I don't think. Levon, I doubt it somehow too, because Levon also seems like a very old school kind of guy. I doubt Levon has actually gone through his games and looked or done any of that sort of like conclusive analysis. So I don't think it's Levon. I don't think it's Veselin. I don't think it's Shakriar. I don't think it's Vishy. I don't think it's Wesley, and it's not myself. So that's already quite a few people. I also don't believe it's Kramnik. So my best guess for who it is I think it's either the number 9 player Maxime Vachier-Lagrave, or it's the number 15 player Anish Giri. I think it's one of those two guys. That's what I think it is. I think it's one of those two guys. In terms of who said this, of course I could be wrong. Now the reason I say that is there is one problem here, which is if I take the supposition that it's actually it depends who it is, but let's just say it's Maxime for a second. Okay, let's say it's Maxime. If that player is Maxime Vachier-Lagrave, the problem with the statement to take the other side is that if it's Maxime plays a lot of very, very sharp games in the Najdorf with the black pieces. Players are not going to have great accuracy. It said former plus 2800. Maxime is a former plus 2800 player. So if we're looking at it from the perspective of Maxime, for example, Maxime is a player who plays who plays the Najdorf all the time. Plays very sharp games, very difficult to play precisely for both sides. So if it's actually Maxime, then it's kind of goes the other way, because Maxime plays all these openings where you're not going to have precise chess for sure. Am I defending Hans? Disgusting. I never said that. I'm basically saying I'm saying that if it's Maxime, the stats look a little bit weird. But let's take the other side. If it is somebody like Anish Giri, for example, and Anish, for example, is Anish is like one of the best prepared players in the world. He knows his first 15-20 moves. He is rock solid, gets to generally very stable positions with simple play for the most part. Then it's the other way, where it's very, very suspicious, because Anish is somebody who should actually have a lot more games that are closer to 90% or above. So my guess is that it's Maxime, if you ask me, but either way, it could go either way there, depending on who you think it is. Nonetheless, of course, to have Hans with 10 games at 100% and 23 at 90, that is quite a bit. Now, to be clear, just so you guys understand what this means, when we're talking about 100% or 23 at 90%, they are talking about the lines that are played. I don't know if it's top 5 or it's top 3 lines, but let's just say that it's top 3 lines in the game. That means every single move that is played in these games was in the top 3 computer moves, period. That's what it means. It does not mean it was the absolute top computer move, but every single move was in the top 3 computer suggestions. Now, again, I don't know Yosha's background. I don't know if you can say that like this is like statistically like what is true, what isn't true. It's very hard to judge. But that is essentially what is being said, which is that the moves do they do match. Top 3 is nothing. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So okay, what do they say? They say yeah, I might go over the whole game later, but I did see this. So it says 100% games can happen once or twice in your career. Hans has that accuracy in many games. Apparently that's super sus. Magnus at his best scores 72% on average, and Gary at his best is around 69%, which of course very, very nice. This is a tool in chess base, so maybe I can actually later, if we actually go through the video, I might do it. But if that is actually legitimate, that looks very, very suspicious. I will say it's very, very suspicious. If top moves from all entrants, different strength, useless analysis. Well, it depends what I don't know what the criteria is. So Hans is the best chess player of all time. Why are you jelly? Good one, you guys. Good one. Again, I don't know how the math stacks up. But if the math does stack up, it's very, very suspicious, and it seems like pretty strong circumstantial evidence. Watch the video. I will go over the video later. There are a couple other things I want to cover. I think I'll cover two more little things, and we'll get to that. Okay, so first things first, let's keep going. So I've told you guys I don't like going to I don't like going to our chess, but we are on our beloved site, the site that loves to hate me. No matter what I say, I could say our chess is the greatest site in the world, and they'd still say that, you know, I'm making it up, or there's some conspiracy theory as to why I'm saying that. So at any rate, we do have two things from our chess to cover, and then we'll probably watch the video. Okay, we have this. I guess if I open it, it's too big, so I will just I'll just go back. And this is from Daniel Wrench, the chief chess officer over at chess.com, which says Magnus has not seen the chess.com cheat algorithms, has not been given or told the list of cheaters. Taking the time to reply to this comment, because while things like this might fly on Twitter, if someone is going to put this many characters into spreading falsehoods, it deserves a response. Number one, Jan nor any Chess24 employee they've never been invited to see chess.com's cheat detection, and I don't believe he ever said that he had been on that. I don't believe he ever said that he had been on that podcast. If you feel otherwise, please give me a link and a timestamp, because that's not true, and I'd have to chat with Jan. Number two, on that same note, nobody from Chess24, not even Magnus, has worked, or has been invited to see our system. So again, Magnus has not seen Chess.com cheat detection algorithms. Magnus was not given or told a list of cheaters, and he is not, and has completely acted 100% on his own knowledge, not sure where he got it from, and desires to at this time. Now, I'm going to add something to this as well in a second. I will also address the comment made in this post about Ben's perpetual podcast and say that yes, some top players, not Magnus, have been invited at times under NDA to see what we do, and by extension, they also saw some reports of confessed cheaters. There were many more cheaters, but we only share those who confess in writing and only privately under the NDA. Magnus and the team from Chess24 are not on that list. So this is where I'm going to add my little bit to this, and this will probably get clipped too, which is to add my clip. Yes, I see PH Pinimal ask the important question. I have never seen a list either. To be clear and have complete transparency, I have never seen a list either. Now, for all the people on our chess who assume that like I own chess.com, or like I see everything, I have not seen that list either, just to be very, very clear. So I haven't seen it, and Magnus hasn't seen it either, is what it sounds like from what Danny is saying. All right, so let's keep going. This was the first Reddit post that we wanted to cover, and now we will cover the second one. Our chess is a discussing platform. I tend to agree, but let me see. Okay, let me pull up this one. So we have one more that we're going to we're going to see. Gotham has seen it. Well, you know, I will add one thing that's very important here to note. And you know, if I was invited to see a list of people who have cheated, if I was invited to see this, I actually have to say I don't think I would. And the reason I would not want to see it is because then if I have like a, you know, like a Rolodex in my head of all these names, I go play these people in person, it will directly affect me. Even if I'm like 99.99% sure that they're not cheating, and you know, it's like a one-time thing online, whatever, I would have trouble. It would creep into my mind ever so slightly. So even if I was even if they asked me to, I would probably say no. I probably would say no, to be clear. All right, so here we go. So we have this from the CEO of chess.com, Eric here. This is just important because these are comments from the chief CEO and the chief chess officer over at chess.com. We have from Eric, the CEO, I want you all to know that this has literally been all that Danny and I have been focused on for weeks now. I know that everyone has wanted everything to come out immediately. Unfortunately, it just doesn't work that way when you're sitting in a chair of massive responsibility. Very, very true. There is so much work going on behind the scenes. This isn't bullet chess. We are doing world championship prep. All I can say right now is put your seatbelts on. This wild ride is not even close to over. All right, so yeah, so this is the this is the post. This is a post from Eric, the CEO. My general read of this is I think pretty straightforward, which is that I think there's a lot of stuff that's covered under legal, but the way that I understand this is that chess.com must be doing something more behind the scenes. I don't know if they're like tallying stats. Again, we've seen like Poonen, we've seen Yosha Iglesias, we've seen many other people come out with stuff. It sounds, I don't know, like when I see world championship prep, that's what it makes me think. It makes me, that's what it makes me think. It makes me think there's like going to be some like 50-page manifesto or something. That's what it makes me think. Again, I don't know, but that's what it feels like. That's really what it feels like to me. Poonen, not Putin, Poonen. So anyway,